2024 has been a straight banger of a year for horror films. We've gotten blockbusters, we've gotten gems from independent companies like IFC, Shudder, the list goes on and on, Neon. We've gotten body horror, we've gotten nunsploitation, satanic panic, we've gotten straight slashers, creature features. It has been one hell of a ride this year. What's good, everyone? Justin here from FearQuest. Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about my top 10 horror films of 2024. This was not an easy list at all. I've seen so many horror films this year, it's ridiculous. I just started listing things. It's been something I've been working on pretty much all year, but it's really gotten shaken up these last few weeks or months. But I got it down to 40 films. 40 films on paper that I went through, and I got that down to 20 films, and then I got it down to my top 10, and I wasn't happy because I was like, okay, yeah, I got my top 10 here, but these other films, they need to be talked about. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in 10 honorable mentions. These are not ranked in any kind of way, shape, or form. They're just 10 great films that didn't make my list, but I felt needed to be talked about. Now, before I get started, there is one film. It's not on my list. I've gotten a little bit of crap from a couple of different friends about it because I've talked to them about my list. It don't belong on a list. It's a winner. It's a $2 million budget film that broke $40 million in the theater. It is the highest ranking independent horror film of all time, and it's Art the Clown. Damien Leone, David Howard Thornton's Terrifier 3. I mean, hats off. You guys won the horror world this year. You guys did it. Terrifier 3 is the King Kong of horror films this year. Much love. Can't wait to see part 4 in 2026. I need more lore. Let's keep it going. Now, for the list. Honorable mentions. I'm going to go through these real quick. I'm not really going to take too much time on any of them. Not going to give much explanation to them. But here we go. We got Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Jenna Ortega. I felt the movie. It was good. It was a lot of fun. It's nowhere near as good as the original, in my opinion. They could have done a lot of great things with it. I feel they crammed too much into it. I think they should have taken Jenna Ortega's character, introduced her in this film, and then took her story from this film and made like Beetlejuice. I don't know if there's going to be a third Beetlejuice. I really hope there is. I've not looked into it. But yeah, Beetlejuice. Fun film. Check it out if you haven't already. Speak No Evil. Holy shit, it's a good movie. It is a remake of a 2022 Danish horror film under the same title. You can watch that on Shudder. I have not seen that version, but this movie stars James McAvoy. It's about a couple who goes on vacation, and they end up going to stay with these people, and shit gets bonkers. Good film. Check it out. Alien Romulus. I'm surprised it's not in my top 10. Alien Romulus, I loved it a lot. Fede Alvarez, I think he really did his homework, and he made a film that feels like it's just smacked right dab in the middle of the universe. It was starring Kaylee Spaney as the main protagonist. She did a very good job. I hope they can figure out a way to make another film with her. I don't know how they're going to do it. You can look at it as a prequel. You can look at it as a sequel. It takes place between 1 and 2. You can look at it as a standalone film. It's a really good movie. Check it out. Trap, starring Josh Hartnett. I know everyone's opinions with M. Night Shyamalan, hit or miss. I'm usually a fan of most of his work. There may be something I'm not thinking of right now that I didn't like. Trap's about a guy taking his daughter to a big concert, and the concert is a trap to catch a serial killer. Pretty fun. Check it out. Abigail. Really fun vampire film. Had a great cast. We have Melissa Barrera, Dan Stevens, Angus Cloud. It was his final movie role, which is very sad. And then you get Alicia Weir as Abigail, and she did a really good job in the film. It was just a nice throwback vampire movie, honestly, and it was a lot of fun. Immaculate. Immaculate was a rough one for me. It was It was a fun movie. Sydney Sweeney did good. It was very similar to the first Omen. I'm pretty sure Immaculate came out a few weeks before. Probably, yeah, I think so. You know, it's about, you know, the birth of the, I guess, Antichrist, but it was more like body horror up in your face like that, and a lot of pregnancy stuff. Good film. Check it out. Oddity. Whew, this was a good one. Oddity, it was Damian McCarthy's second feature film. His first one was Caveat, a really good movie. Came out a couple years ago. It's starring Caroline Bracken, and she plays a blind telepath who is trying to hunt down the murderer of her sister. That's all I'm going to go into that. This movie did scare me a bit. Cuckoo, not for everyone, but I loved it. Good film. Hunter Schafer, it was her first feature film that I've seen her in. I know her from Euphoria. Same with Sydney Sweeney and Angus Cloud. Euphoria I really like, and I think she kills her role in that, and she did a really good job. Impressed me big time in this movie. And it's got Dan Stevens in it as well. Check it out. I will go back on it one more time. It's got a really, really cool soundtrack or sound design. I like that. It sticks out. In a Violent Nature, starring Rye Barrett as Johnny, the Jason ripoff. Sorry I said it, but I'm saying it. In a Violent Nature is a pretty interesting film. It could have been a Friday the 13th movie, honestly, but Jason's held up in the courts, so we got to get someone else out there and name him Johnny and make him look very similar to Jason from the backside, because the whole movie takes place in the third-person view on Johnny's back like you're playing a video game. Pretty interesting kills in this movie. One of them ranks up there with something from Terrifier or a Mortal Kombat fatality. Check it out. The last on my honorable mentions list is The Vampire Next Door. Y'all may give me some shit about this. I don't care. I had a lot of fun with it. It's kind of a romantic horror comedy, if you will, about the little nerdy boy and a cool vampire chick moves next door, and you can put two and two together, and then he comes like the cool guy. Really throwback film to the 80s for like My Best Friend's the Vampire or Teen Vamp. Teen Vamp is a very hard movie to find, by the way. You can get it like in another regions, but come on, Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow or someone, put this movie out for us. Anyway, that's all for my honorable mentions. Let's get to my top 10. Okay, let's do this. Oh, my glasses are dark. I had to step outside for a minute. I'm a cool kid. My top 10 films of 2024. Number 10. This one surprised me a lot because I didn't like the original. I'm not going to say I didn't like it. I don't think I've ever watched it front to end. It has played many times in my place, like throughout the past, people watching it and stuff like that. I didn't get into it. Just never really gave it much attention. But the sequel had an actor in it that I was not aware that was in the first one, who is one of my more favorite actors today. And I was like, well, he was in the first one? What? And I went and did a little recap, and yeah, he reprises his role in this, and that was Kyle Gallner. And the movie is Smile 2. Smile 2 is my number 10. That movie was a lot of fun. It actually scared me in pieces. Naomi Scott, I've not seen her in anything, but she was amazing in this, in her role. Just a really good overall horror film, and Smile 2 impressed me. Maybe I'll go back and watch the first one. I don't know. But yeah, she killed it. There's some scenes in it that got to me. If you remember Blair Witch in the snot bubbles, man, that ain't got shit on this movie. She got her snot bubble game down. Let's go to number 9. That's Azrael. Azrael is a post-apocalyptic, after the rapture happens, film starring Samara Weaving. It does have some stuff to do with the Antichrist being born. In this film and in this world, most people can't speak. There's very little dialogue to the movie at all. And that was, I went into it going, but knowing Samara Weaving and everything she's been in, she has killed it. Seeing her act throughout a film where she goes through some very intense scenes and really like fights and all kinds of other stuff, and she don't speak, and she relies on her expressions. It was just amazing. Check out Azrael. Number 8, The First Omen. starring Neil Tiger Free and Ralph Ineson. Okay, yes. When it came to Immaculate versus this, I like this a lot more than Immaculate. Way less of the body horror stuff, more the supernatural, satanic style lore, the bad people of the church wanting to birth the Antichrist. They did it. I've never seen Neil Tiger Free in anything that I know of, and I really liked her performance in the film, and that is The First Omen. You do not have to watch The Omen to get this film if you don't want to, but if you are a fan of The Omen and you've not seen this, definitely check it out. Number 7's a fun one. I love a good creature feature, and it is a French film titled Infested, starring Theo Christine. It's about a kid who is in this little slummy area, apartments. He collects bugs. He gets this really cool spider. It's some kind of special, weird, rare spider. And it gets loose and things go bad. That's all I'm going to say about that one. But it is a lot of fun, very claustrophobic, very, if you like arachnophobia and you like little creepy crawlies, check out Infested. It's good. It will make your skin crawl. It freaked me out a bit. And I love spiders. Coming in at number 6, this one's a good one. Strange Darling, starring Willa Fitzgerald and Kyle Gallner again. It is about a one-night stand with the possibility of someone being a serial killer. This movie is very unorthodox. I've never seen a movie do like it does. It's in multiple chapters, and those chapters are so out of whack. It's kind of bizarre in a way, but it makes sense in the end. Like, this is not how it is, but as an example, it may start with chapter 4, go to the final chapter, go to the first chapter, go to the second. It's just crazy, but it works out really well in the end. The movie had a great cinematography and it's just all around a good film. Strange Darling. It was, I think, my number 3 originally, but stuff got shoveled up. But yeah, definitely check out Strange Darling. Number 5. Yeah, this was my number 2 at one time. And that is Longlegs, starring Maika Monroe and Nicolas Cage. Female FBI agent who is psychic hunting down a killer. Nicolas Cage portrays Longlegs, and he is on a whole new level of Nick Cage. And when you see him, and it's nuts. It's bonkers. The movie's really good. It's pretty original. Everyone compared it to Silence of the Lambs. Maybe a bit. I don't know. I do feel like the movie's hype hurt it a bit because, for weeks it was just scariest film ever. This, that. It just, and I don't know, because I saw a lot of people going, "Oh, this movie's nothing," when it was over, and I just think some of its advertisement hurt it a bit. But definitely Longlegs, beautiful film. Check it out. Number 4 was a surprise to me. It came out of nowhere over the last few weeks, and that is Heretic. Heretic's got Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East, and it's about 2 Mormon girls on their mission trip, going door to door like they do. They meet up with Hugh Grant. They go in Hugh's house. Things go upside down. That's all I'll say about that one. It's got some really great dialogue. Probably the whole first act, the whole first 45 minutes is probably nothing but dialogue. Second act's about halfway through, still dialogue, but it's really interesting. It's fun, religious, back and forth, Hugh Grant was amazing in it. I've never really seen him as a villain in any kind of way, and I hope he does more roles like this. I'm sure he's played some in the past, but I've not seen it. But he and Sophie Thatcher, she did a fantastic job. But who really stood out was, and then it comes around about the third act, and she spreads her wings, and that's Chloe East. She brings it and shows you what she's all about. Look forward to seeing her in more things. Check out Heretic. Number 3. This movie, I was just like, after hearing about it all year, being hyped up, I was like, this will be probably my number 1 film. But it landed in my number 3 spot, and that is Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, starring Lily Rose Depp, Bill Skarsgård, Ralph Ineson. Great cast, great film. No, it is not one of these. It is the most beautiful film I've seen all year. when it comes to shots, set pieces, cinematography, everything. Its sound design was epic. I'm not going to get too much into this. I did a review the other day if you want to go check that out. It was just overall fantastic gothic horror film. Skarsgård did a wonderful job. Don't even know it's him when you see him on screen, and when he's on there, you feel his presence. Nosferatu coming in at number 3 there. Number 2, this one, another one that came out of nowhere and shoveled everything up, but holy shit did this movie deliver, and that is The Substance, starring Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid. Substance has got it all. It's got body horror, it's got creature feature, it's a fucking wild ride, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Second act, Demi Moore is so over the top and crazy. It's a really fun film. It's a very gross film. There was things in it that was just fucked with me. Like, yeah, check it out. Watch The Substance. And my number 1 movie of the year. Y'all ready for this? Bill Skarsgård's The Crow. I'm fucking with you. My number 1 movie of the fucking year. Late Night with the Devil, starring David Dastmalchian. This movie blew me away. It actually has come and gone on my number 1 a few times, but upon rewatch again a few weeks ago, no, it is my favorite horror film of the year. David Dastmalchian, he's been just kind of slithering his way around the horror community for years now. He got his start in Batman, The Dark Knight, I believe. Whichever one had Heath Ledger. Anyway, but he was in The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I've always seen him on like interviews and panels on cons or in horror documentaries, and now he's got like his little show called Grave Conversations on Instagram that I love, and they need to bring back quick because it's cool. But no, David Dastmalchian is killing it. Someone compared him to this day's Vincent Price, and I can see that. If you don't know who he is, look into him. But the film, it takes place, it's a talk show. Hey, you know, he's made some deals here and there to get where he is. Payments due. His rent is, his ratings are dropping big time. Halloween night, he wants to bring some really crazy stuff on stage, and things go crazy. And I don't want to ruin anything, because I guarantee there's still a lot of people who have not seen Late Night with the Devil. You can watch it on Shudder right now, and I highly suggest you go right after this movie, if you've not watched it, and watch Late Night with the Devil. My number 1 film of the year. It feels so much like a talk show. The first time I was watching it, they cut for commercial, and I thought a commercial was coming up, and I was going to have to get up and leave the room for a minute because I don't fuck with commercials. But yeah, it's just a really fun movie, front to end. Check it out. Well, that's it, kids. That's all she wrote. That's my top 10. Leave me a comment if you agree with any of them. Leave me a comment if you disagree with any of them. You know, I'm always like to see people's opinions on things. Yep. Today is January 1st, 2025. We're in a new year. We got The Wolfman coming this month. I'm pretty excited about that. It looks different than what I thought it was going to be. Some other horror films coming out this month, but we'll get more into that later. Hope you all had a wonderful New Year's Eve last night. Everyone stayed safe, you know. Look forward to see what 2025 is going to bring us. And until next time, smash the thumbs up, smash the thumbs down, hit the sub button, hit the little bell for the next video. And until next time, love you, kids.